Hi everyone, this is Estelle Tracy from 37 Chocolates. I hope you all are doing fantastic, that you are safe at home. And as promised last Thursday, today is the second part of my live Q&A. So we answered a bunch of questions in the first part about how did I turn chocolate into a job, how am I making money in this uncertain times, considering I had to cancel all my live tastings. And I still had some questions that I wanted to answer today because we ran out of time last time. So I'm going to jump right in. And I'm going to pick this question from my friend Paul John Kirins from Chocolatism. As you all know, he is a chocolatier based in Provincetown in New England. And his question is, would I consider a blindfold tasting? And my answer is a resounding yes. The reason for that is that when you do any kind of blind tasting, I feel you're paying way more attention to your flavor as opposed to actually getting into as opposed to eating a chocolate that you know exactly what it is. I've done something similar. It was one maker, Ritual Chocolate, 6 different origins. My friend Laura had done this blind tasting for me, and I thought it was so much fun, and like the way I was like really tasting was really a cool experience. So I would love to do that again. Somebody asked me, how did I develop my tasting abilities for chocolate pairings? So the answer to that question is kind of boring in that what I did is what I felt has helped my tasting abilities the most has been to eat a lot, to taste a lot, not necessarily entire bars, but like to kind of be mindful of my tasting and doing a lot of, like when it comes to pairings with wine, being in a position to taste a lot of wine. And I really emphasize on the word taste versus drinking the whole thing. I've been able to develop quite a bit of the pairing abilities by being able to try 10 different bottles in 60 to 90 minutes. And for those of you who may not be familiar with this kind of tasting, is you actually do not drink much of the wine. So what you would do is you would actually take a sip, you would have a spit cup and then spit it back, and then at the end of each like once you got the pairing that you wanted, you just dump the rest of the glass, and then you pour another, and so on and so forth. The thing also, what I like about this process of dumping is that I try to be very mindful of my gut reaction, which is, am I sad to dump it? And when I feel like, oh no, okay, that's a good bottle, like that's kind of my go-to. And so being able to taste a lot side by side in a very short amount of time has been very helpful. And taking what I do is like, this is actually, I use it, I am a bullet journaler, not so much this quarantine, but what I do is that I keep copious notes of like the pairings that I have. So for instance, this was at a local country club right here. I take a lot of notes. This is my 2020 bullet journal. I have that for 2019. And when I get into a pairing event, I actually bring both journals with me. And at the beginning of my 2019, I actually have an index. You have an index at the beginning of the journal, and so I index all the previous tasting, and being able to it's really extremely helpful to actually be able to refer that. So what I'd say is, taste a lot of wine, taste a lot of chocolate, and take a lot of notes. Yes, that would be the most important thing. What I did do is I did take a training from École Chocolat, a tasting one. I wanted to do one thing very formally, with assignments, with something that felt a little more academic. I think it's called Tasting 101 or something like that. And the beauty of that is that they made us go through, like, we had to really consciously take one chocolate, one origin, 3 different makers, and we had an assignment, and then we had a wonderful chocolatier, Richard, his name is Richard Tango. There's another part to his name. He has a company called Dancing Lion Chocolate. I think it's in New England, but anyhow, he was like such a wonderful resource. And yes, and so doing that chocolate tasting 101, I felt kind of gave me the confidence to kind of pursue things on my own after that. I see my friend Glenn is on. Glenn was the person who asked about the size of my chocolate stash, so I'm going to take care of this question for him. And my friend Geraldine is on. Geraldine, as usual, bonjour. It's always a pleasure to have you both on the live like this. So Glenn was asking about the size of my chocolate stash. So I have seen wine fridges across the chocolate community. Like we all have very different versions of like a chocolate stash, and I think okay, Glenn, are you ready? So this is my chocolate stash. I'm going to show you. So I have one box like this, and I'm going to show you. And this is the box I brought when I got into wine and chocolate pairing for the first time. And what I have in here, I don't know if you can see. I just don't have a lot. Actually, I have this bar by Palette de Bean, which is a Canadian maker that I love. The Sapin, which is Fear. That's one of my favorites, so I'm not touching it so far. I have my friend Lori gave me 2 bars by Theo. These are kind of like the presents box. My friend Florence in France gave me a bar from the grocery store by Terra Etica. She wanted me to try this. So then those are later another Terra Etica. And then my friend Lauren gave me Fire Tree. It's 100% bar. And I have this one. It was from my cacao review box that I ordered. And I have a historic chocolate from Mars. So this were all present given to me. This is one I purchased. And in that box, I also have my absolute 2 favorite bars by Map Chocolate. So for those of you who may not have known me for 5 years, Map Chocolate was the chocolate maker that converted me, if that makes sense, into the possibilities of craft chocolate. So Akali chocolate was the first one in taste, and in storytelling, in my opinion, nobody beats Map Chocolate. It's essentially like I say, it's poetry. And I always say I used to read her website. I had a 2-year-old that had a lot of difficulty going to sleep, so I would do pattern rubs. She would ask for pattern rubs so she'd be on my bed, and I would look at my phone. I would scroll on Instagram, and then I would click on Map Chocolate, and I'd be like, oh, I would just read the product descriptions, and it just had nothing to do with the rest of the chocolate world, and it was all about, I don't know, there was chicken somehow. So my 2 favorite bars, going back to that, Night Swimming, it's a 60% dark milk chocolate. The beans, I think, they've been from Belize for the past 5 years. The packaging has changed quite a bit, but Belize is one of my favorite dark milk chocolate, hands down. So that's Night Swimming. This is the other one. This just gives me the chills and shivers, and this is just I think this might be my absolute chocolate favorite, which is the Secret Garden. It's a 70% Belize with dried plum and cardamom. This is just if I'm just a little tired, I might start sobbing and be like, oh, this is so beautiful, and this is why we're alive, and eat chocolate and whatever. So this one is open, and this one is really I know this would keep well. Dark chocolate keeps better than milk chocolate, so so this one isn't open yet. This one I did yesterday. So Jessica says, I have some very good friends. I do. I really cannot complain. So that's box number 1. So as you see, you didn't have a ton in there. So this is the stuff that I got from San Francisco. Some of it is actually in my belly. This was I showed that to you. This was a selection by Choco Card, which is a Hungarian chocolate company. And what I really like doing is kind of let my intuition guide me for to buy one bar or another. yeah, so I had a very good vibe with this. Like, I hadn't tried it. I'm like, I'm not gonna try. Like, nowadays I don't eat chocolate at the festivals. I'm just like, I have a good feeling about this and whatever. And so this, my feeling has been like, I opened one of these envelopes. I can't tell you how amazing this is, from texture, flavor, everything. And like, just, if I wish you could just feel this paper. So like this, I'm saving it too. And inside it's like a bunch of small squares. So this is like the super personal, private moment. So I feel very hard. My sister brought me one of these bars from Paris, the Maru chocolate with kumquat. I bought 5 back from San Francisco. I have 4 left. This is chocolate for me. Like, I don't really share that with my kids. Like, this is like me. I don't bring that for tasting. This is me. I think it's very important when you serve chocolate for a living that you keep things separate. So there's definitely the stuff that I keep for me, and then the things that I serve to others. And I try to really keep things separate like that. I do have a lot more chocolates downstairs, which is what I bring to tastings. And so that is like off limit. It's like on shelf. Nobody can touch them. It's in a Ziploc inside a box. Like, that is like so this was a present from Denise Castronovo, which is a lychee and rose bar by Fuan Chocolate, and that came with a little cacao pot purse, and she said it was delicious. So I have this one, and then even these ones, I wouldn't consider them my stash. This was chocolate I had bought from Creole Chocolate. And this were going to be for an event I was going to have in March that I had to cancel. So if my friend Mary is watching, this was going to be for her event. This was going to be part of a clothes swap event that was going to benefit a nonprofit called Wings for Success. And we had to cancel it. So I'm not touching those. Those are not for me. Those are for our event with Mary when the time comes again. Oh, this one. This is a Mirzam. This is a date and funnel. Yes, chocolate. Mirzam is a company based in Dubai. And my gosh, this one might be my favorite. It has so it's 2 layers of chocolate, and inside you have like dates and fennel. It's a paste, really. And so this again is like, Geraldine is one of the lucky people with whom I have shared like a small bite, but I don't share this. This is like purely for me, another story. But yeah, so this is like, if I share this with you, you know you're special, is what I'm saying. So what else do I have? Oh yeah. Okay, this was I forgot I had this one. Soma Peach Cobbler, which you can't even find anywhere, I think, right now. But yeah, anyway, let me show you this. I think this is again my personal size. Look at this. Isn't that cool? That's the graham cracker. Yeah, so that's Soma is based in Toronto, and right now I don't even know how they're shipping. Oh, and I got this same thing in San Francisco. Chocolat Naïf. It's a Lithuanian company, and the founder is like, he's very quirky / whimsical. Like, I don't know if that combination makes sense, but yeah, and like, let me show you what those bars look like. Can you see in transparency? Like, that's actually a chunk. Like, it's not a bar. It looks like a blob. I mean, just like, I can't think of anything else. I got white label, this white label India chocolate, and the others that I have, and I might as well give them a shout out now. You may not know this company, for those of you who are into chocolate. Okay. All right, let me give them a shout out, and that's Triangle Roasters. It's a brand new chocolate company in Philadelphia. So there's not a ton of chocolate companies in Philly, like Bean to Bar or anything like that. And I actually met one of the 4 co-founders in New York City last year. His name is Michael, and we were lucky enough, me and 2 friends, to go visit them in November to see like their operation and try their chocolate. right after they got their labels. Like they had just got, when I say labels, yeah, the wrappers. I give them lots of props for their label. Like it's the kind of things that when you eat a lot of chocolate, like you start picking on these small details. One of the things I love about their wrappers, beside like how clean they look and everything, it's just like the adhesive is so easy to put back in place, and it doesn't rip the whole thing. Like same thing, you can see it here. That's it, super clean, and my gosh, am I happy that they did that. So they're trying to navigate this situation as best as they can. They also make they're a coffee roaster. They started by actually roasting coffee, and that's the thing that's really cool with them is that they're called triangle roasters. So they roast coffee and cacao to make chocolate. So if you want to try something new, why don't you try you go to triangleroasters.com, and they just put a nice website together. You can order. Let me show you. This is what I have left. My favorite are actually I like the one with coffee, and I like the one with raspberry. The raspberry one is good. Single origin, if that's your jam. They have some really nice ones. They're 2-ingredient type of bars. This one has added cocoa butter. This one I haven't opened. That's the 2-ingredient with salt, cacao nibs and sea salt. But yeah, they're definitely a maker to watch. I think they're gonna do really cool things in Philadelphia. So that's what I have right now. And I have some wrappers. I have some Happy Ton bars. I did find this Noe bar that I didn't know I had. Yeah. And I mean, that's really what I have. It's not, I mean, I definitely don't have like fridges of chocolate for sure. And I always have a goal of like emptying the stash every December. Because I like things fresh. I don't like, I eat more chocolate than I think I do. But at the same time, it's like when, like, how can I say that? Like, there are a lot of bars, unless I'm like crazy about them, I'm gonna eat a few squares and be like, okay, I know what it tastes like, and time to move on. So it's really, well, like the things I showed you at the beginning, like the Maru, the Mirzam, like these are things that I savor because they're slightly, they're a bit sweet, and like I don't know where I'm gonna find them and everything. So Geraldine said, just check their site. They're almost all sold out. Is that for Triangle, Geraldine? But I know they're working on new things, so it's gonna be worth checking them out. But until then, you follow them on Facebook and Instagram. They're just these really lovely people, and like that was just. It's such a great memory for me to have gone there in Philly. When I did, it was like a few days after a really rough day, and I'm looking at what did I do? Okay, and it was like they had prepared pour over coffee for us and little pieces of cakes, and like the way they treated us was really fantastic. So anyway, yeah, I haven't counted how many bars I have. But it's not, as I said, it's not like would say maybe 20, and that's about it. But I have more for sale. Which is totally different. So somebody had asked me what 2 things make me want to get up in the morning, and it's like, let me tell you right now. Do you know what takes me up from bed? It's my children. I mean, like that's something that, because I don't post my kids on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, but I have 2 kids, and come 6:30, I'll tell you, it's not my alarm clock is the kids. Like there's always somebody either like destroying the house or the other trying to like get in the bed and putting a foot on our faces. So that's kind of how it goes. So yes, that's really what keeps me out. And then the idea that I'm gonna have coffee with chocolate, I think I forgot existed. I mean, that is like the absolute that's bliss, complete bliss. So then what do we have? A couple of comments. Oh, okay. So lots of things sold out. I'm savoring Mapu Mabi as listening to you. So this is amazing bar with having one in hand. Okay, I'm so glad, Jessica, that you're having some chocolate. And for those of you who have showed interest in, supporting me, which I super appreciate, I ordered a bunch of stamps from the post office and got new ink for my printer. I would like to be able to ship a section of 3 bars to those of you interested. If you go 37 chocolates, bigcartel.com, or just go to 37 chocolates and then click on shop. There is a mystery set, and right now until it sells out, I'm selling the Cantu Chuncho, the Castronovo Dark Milk with WM Honduras with sea salt. So that's a trio that I actually reviewed a couple of weeks ago. So if that looked appealing to you, you can place an order, and when I'm ready to ship, I will actually ship it. I hope I can do that starting like this week, late this week, early next week. So hang in there. Thank you. Yes, a lot of companies are definitely doing, like, I think there's been a lot of support toward a lot of chocolate companies. You could also check out barandcoco.com. That's a big chocolate website. You could check, they might carry some map chocolate there, Geraldine. What else? Yeah, I mean, another one is, I think it's Caputo's or caputosmarket.com. Geraldine, I know you're big into chocolate. Like that's another great website to order from, especially since, so they're based in Utah. So in the middle of coronavirus, they got hit by a earthquake. And so they lost a bunch of things. So I'm happy to send, refer you to that website. But yes, so I'm glad some of you are eating chocolate. I like hearing that some of you have placed orders at like somebody, my friend Juanette said that she ordered at Towak after watching the review. I'm gonna try what I can to keep you engaged, and but yes, I'd love also to show you what I have in stock that I can ship as long as it's no more than 3 or 4 bars. I can ship it from my mailbox. So I try to not go to the post office. I want to stay safe. I want to keep everybody safe. So that's kind of my compromise. Then what else? Oh, somebody asked me favorite chocolate in terms of chocolate percentage and origin. And that's the thing, I don't really have such thing. I think that it's just like movies. Sometimes you like right now, I'd rather watch something funny. I'm not in the mood for thrillers. I like watching thrillers on happier times, and then there's a time and place for everything. I eat anything from white chocolate, as you see, like this is a 36% white chocolate. That's a bunch of sugar. I will eat this, and I mean, you have in that first box, you have a white chocolate and 100% bar. I will eat anything as long as it's interesting and interesting, fun, delicious. Has a good texture. I'm big into texture, but I do not have a favorite origin. I do have favorite makers, which is a slightly different question. And then the right origin and the right hands would do right chocolate, in my opinion. But Glenn has to jump up. Thanks so much for jumping in, Glenn. I hope your curiosity was satisfied. And have a great day. But yeah, so I have more things. But yes, I like the journey of chocolate more than stopping at one place. Like I like always trying new things. And then when I find something that like Cantu, which is one of my favorite makers, or Castronovo, then I like bringing that over to people, because I feel like this is something that is gonna stick, is gonna show people the potential of craft chocolate. Yeah, like this was I feel very fortunate that I have lots of people sending me chocolate too, which is another reason I don't necessarily need to buy a ton. Like this is my friend Claire from Canada. She went to Mexico and she sent me with this little tastings here. But yeah, I feel very fortunate. I have wonderful friends who give me chocolate, and then when I write about a chocolate maker, they send me chocolate too. I mean, everything's great in terms of chocolate. And I think that's it for today. I hope this was all fun to watch, that you discovered a new company. I really appreciate you tuning in. It's really fun to see that you're staying throughout the whole episode or live or whatever. So you can read more if you want to learn more about chocolate. Read more. Check out 37chocolates.com. I posted a truffle recipe on Friday, which is an easy dessert to do in this difficult, crazy time. Also, I hope, like, there's like these two kids I was telling you about. They keep me quite busy during the day. I would really like to ask some of my favorite makers how are they going through the this quarantine, the pandemic, how they are coping. Thank you, Geraldine. And so I'd like to interview some and post that on the blog. Sign up to the newsletter. That's always super helpful if you want to keep up with what I do. But yeah, I would not, like, exceptionally, I cannot have a video at 3 p.m. on Thursday. I'll actually be dropping off my mom at the airport. So a lot of people didn't know she was around, but yeah. And Sheila, I'm so glad the truffles were great. I'll continue doing my activities as best as I can. Stay safe, eat chocolate, and let me know if you want any recommendation for any chocolate. I'm always happy to send you business to our people that are trying to make it through this time. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next Tuesday for another video.